Aging is the aggressive pursuit of comfort.
I'm putting that on my mirror forever.
I promise you, if your morning's hard, your day will be easy. Promise you.
Welcome to the Excellence Project, where we explore excellence, entrepreneurship, and artistry in its many, many forms. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, that you subscribe and you share. In today's conversation, we have human biologist Gary Brecka, an anti-aging expert. We talk about all things anti-aging, health, longevity, energy. I think you're going to love the conversation. And with no further ado, let's get into our conversation with Gary Brecka. Gary Brecka.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
So I've heard different names for you. And is the most accurate one a human biologist?
Human biologist. Yes.
Human biologist and like lead expert for 10X Health.
Yes. I'm the lead human biologist for 10X Health. I'm a co-founder of 10X Health.
Okay. And what you've done is so interesting. And yeah, I've watched some of the other content that you put out. You're kind of famously promoted almost by Dana White.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Dana White's testimonial, and that's part of the reason why I contacted you in the first place. And you know, because Dana White was talking about how you really helped change his life.
Right.
Talk about that experience. What did you do for Dana White?
Well, you know, what we did for Dana was what we do for, you know, any other patient. But, you know, the first thing we have to understand about this journey towards optimal health is that we need data, right? Most people, when they want to sleep better or have a better response to exercise or more waking energy or improve their, you know, the depth of their sleep, they just ask their spouse or their friend or even their doctor or, you know, their neighbor or their workout buddy, you know, what works for you. And so it leads us to supplement for the sake of supplementing. And it leads us to very often start taking prescription medication without any real data. You know, it's like we have an income statement, a balance sheet, a P&L for our business, but we don't really have one for our bodies. And so the first thing we did was just get some data. We got blood work on Dana, and we got a genetic test. I'm a huge fan of genetic testing because we can look at actionable genes in the human body, meaning we can look at genes that are responsible for converting raw material in the human body into the usable form. You see, there's not a single compound known to mankind, not one, that enters the human body that's used in the form that we put it in. Everything that enters our body has to go through a process of being converted into the usable form. If you can't make this conversion, you have a deficiency. And it's that deficiency that leads to some of the most common ailments. Things like high blood pressure, weight gain, water retention, poor response to exercise, poor sleep, what we think are allergies, gastrointestinal upset, you know, diarrhea, constipation, you know, irritability, cramping, and then things that we consider to be mental conditions like ADD, ADHD, OCD. All of these conditions are in many cases deficiencies in the human body. So in Dana's case, we got some blood work, we got some gene testing. At the time, he's been very public about his medical records. So at the time, he was on 4 or 5 different prescription medications, 2 or 3 of them for blood pressure control. And what we realized was his body was deficient in certain very important raw materials. In his case, something called trimethylglycine, something called methylfolate. And he had very poor blood sugar control. You know, he was almost a type 2 diabetic. He had very high cholesterol, very high triglycerides, and he had a very, very high inflammatory marker called homocysteine. And what we did was we used a basic amino acid to lower the level of this inflammatory compound. And we fixed the nutrient deficiencies in his body. We balanced his hormones. And for a period of time, I put him on a very strict keto diet. Which was kind of like twisted his head in a knot when, you know, I said, you have a life-threatening level of fat in your blood. And the way that I'm going to get the fat down in your blood is I'm going to put you on a high-fat diet.
But before we get into keto, I want to talk about this one part of what he talked about. He said somebody bought you as doing a consulting thing for him as a gift.
Yes.
It's like a birthday present or something for a guy who has everything. You know, he's very successful, very wealthy guy. Right. And part of the pitch that he heard was that you could accurately predict within a month here or there how long a person had to live.
That's right.
And when I heard that, I'm like, what?
Everybody's has the same reaction.
So I'll get to it in a second, but I want to know, Dana asked you to do that for him.
He did. Yeah. That was how we first met. He said, I want you to do my life expectancy. Tell me how long I have to live.
So he was how old when he started with you?
So this is going back about a year.
About a year. So how old was he at the time?
52.
52. So how long did you give him?
He had 10.4 years,
10.4 years. So he
10.4
was going to
years.
last at like 62 or 63,
Yep.
and then it was going to be done.
10 years and 10 years and
Now,
about 3
for
months.
the, I know you've taken some flack for that.
Oh, I take a lot of
A
flack.
lot of people say, "Oh, this is monkey business. This is pseudoscience. This is not real."
Right.
Talk about your credentials in
Mm-hmm.
doing that, your experience in doing that, and talk about the science behind it and how accurate that actually really is.